There you go. Check, check. Wow, how did you do that? Right, the mic source wasn't showing up for whatever reason. Add. Yeah. Like a mic. You just titled it mic or. Yeah. Right. And that was all in media source. You just added it there. Okay. 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 I know last game. I know last game. Last game it was. I sounded weird and I realized I was supposed to be in the mixer, but the mixer's not showing up. So. Yeah. Yeah, we could add that. It's already in there. I can't hear it. No, 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 no. Yeah. Should we try to add the mixer or no? Probably not, eh? That well, usually like the mixer and the mic show up in here. Yeah. Yeah. So if it's already in use, why isn't it showing up though? Oh, so maybe this is the mixer and we just called it mic. Okay, yeah, let's just. Hopefully it's all right. I'll listen back after the first and hopefully it's okay. Check, check. And welcome everybody inside Jerome Ginla Arena. Thanks for staying with us here as we try to sort out some technical issues with the audio. As we're early in the game, just 45 seconds in, it's the Warriors and the Crude knotted at zeros. The Warriors coming in at 0-2 and the Crude coming in at 2-2 with the default win already attributed to the record over the Rockies. Ball's taken by Runco to the net. Underneath his man, he'll flip it back over to Andrusiak. Andrusiak looked to shoot. He got hit, and the ball gets tossed back up high. Here's Runco. He'll collect, and he'll swing it over into the stick of Kai Morris. Morris shoots that wide as he tried to pull it to the short side, and now the Crude come back out. Here's McConnell with the ball, and he'll toss it back out high to Fodchuk. Crude coming in off a big win on the road at the Shamrocks on Sunday afternoon. They beat them by a score of 12-7 while the Warriors fell to the Outlaws on Saturday. And now in on a breakaway was Babiak, and he gets stopped by Horbe. Ball into the stick of, we'll check this here. Looks like Elliott, as the ball gets sent well high over the net of Bialik. And it's picked up by the Warriors. Lentz loses it, and the ball is going to go loose into the corner, and it's going to be picked up by Pennock. Pennock gets knocked, and they're going to call 10 seconds. So it'll be Crude ball. 8 seconds, excuse me, and it'll be Crude ball. Now a two-man game off the right side for the Crude. Elliott hesitates. He swings it into the stick onto the far side. That looked like Fodchuk, and now the ball gets knocked back up high. Elliott will recollect. Elliott just avoids the over and back. And now the ball's picked up momentarily by Bowie. He loses it. Wells across the top and shoots it right into the mask of Bialik. And now picked off, and the ball's going to come the other way at Schultz for the Crude. The Wells swings it over far side. Ball back into the stick of Elliott. Elliott, long shot into the chest of Bialik. And he'll headman the ball up. In transition, that looks like Redlick for the Warriors. As the ball gets tossed wide, and the Crude will come back down the floor. Ball high now in the stick of Frey. Fry shoots that into the lower portion of Bialik. And now Pennock will collect at center. Pennock gets pressed, and he throws that into the Crude bench. And we got a delayed call here coming up to the Crude. Official Nathaniel Gillespie will make his way to the box, and we'll get the call. 2-minute face masking call. Don't see that too often. Bowie will go to the box. So up top will be 12s for the Warriors. And the ball goes over to the left side, back up to 12s. As he's got Dylan Evelyn on the left shooter. Evelyn fires, and that's stopped by Horbe. I believe Evelyn is from Ontario. He was originally a Tier 2 Warrior, and he's being called up here. Don't know if he's been rostered by the Tier 1s. As Fry comes back down into the offensive zone. Fry down the near boards. He's going to get doubled. Good job of one-handing that up to Elliott. Elliott is going to get chased here, and he's just going to throw it in on Bialik. Ball now with the Warriors as they have a minute to go on the power play. Still scoreless here early on. Thanks for joining us here on CROW LAX TV. 12's up high. Tried to get it over to Evelyn. It's going to be picked up by Andrusiak. Now Royer got his pass knocked down. And the Crude will come back down over center. Fodchuk up high. Fodchuk will navigate his way down the far boards as the Crude look to kill the final 30 seconds of this penalty. Wells takes a check. He flips to Elliott. Elliott marked there by 12s, and sharp angle shot there by Elliott, easily handled by Bialik. The Warriors needing to get the ball up. Bialik throws it right to Wells. Wells 2-on-1 with Elliott. Wells to Elliott. Elliott steps, and that's stopped by Bialik. The ball goes loose, and it's going to be picked up by the Warriors. And now he's not on my sheet, but I'm almost certain this is Trenton Redlick for the Warriors. I don't even know if he's on their roster at this point, but must be because he's out here tonight. As Royer wearing 2 instead of 19 for the Warriors. Shot in, and that's a 5-hole snipe by, it looks like Bilodeau, maybe Basinger. Yeah, it looks like Basinger. So Basinger opens up the scoring. It's 1-0 Warriors. I want to thank our first period sponsor, Zender Ford, the car dealer in Spruce Grove, who will go above and beyond our customers' needs, working with you no matter what situation you're in. Conveniently located on Highway 16, we have great hours and we can help you with any vehicle needs you may have. And Dylan Doken Contracting Limited, DDC, is a general contracting company. Our attention to detail and giving customers what they ask for is our company's main objective. Call Dylan Doken Contracting Limited for your general contracting needs. As off the turnover, it'll be Crude ball. Ball up high. Stenson will control it and get it back over to Fodchuk. Fodchuk quickly swings it over to Elliott. Now down low as it moves back up to Elliott. Bowie and Elliott, 2-man game. Now Elliott thought about going across the top, rolls back down, and Bialik shuts that off on the short side. 1-0 Warriors lead here early. And they're off to a pretty good start. Not many people would have predicted this start, as they have asserted themselves. Redlick up high, hands it off to Royer. Royer swings it into the stick of Runco. Runco, a wild shot, way wide and way high. Gets picked back up by Basinger. Basinger floats one in on net. It gets soaked and bounces all the way back down the floor. The Crude, if they hurry, could have numbers here, but they'll slow it down and elect to set up 5-on-5. Nicapillo hands to Wells. Wells to the net. Wells, and he tucks it home, but they call crease. No goal. Warriors ball. So we remain here 1-0. Warriors on the road leading here in St. Albert. Runco to Andrusiak. Andrusiak flips it up high. That's mishandled. And the ball gets moved back over to Runco, who swings it, and they hit a wide open man in front of the net. Didn't hit him, and now the Crude will go back the other way. Here's Reich for the Crude. He's going to stop up. He's going to get pressed by Cameron. Reich chases Cameron chases Reich all the way to center. He avoids the back over, and now Bilodeau has some trouble picking it up, and eventually it looks like he's going to, but he loses it again, and then he recollects. Bilodeau wide open, but sails that over the head of Basinger. Now Evelyn will go pick it up. Evelyn behind the net gets met by a check. Evelyn loses it, and the Crude come back the other way. Here's Stenson. had a goal in his previous game in Calgary against the Shamrocks in that 12-7 win. Big win for the Crude as they look to build upon that. Here's Fodchuk, hop step. Gets chased out by Cameron. Way outside is Nestor. Easily stopped by Bialik. Now inside is Elliott, and he got Bialik to step to the short side and ripped it to the far side. It's 1-1. That goal brought to you by DDC, Dylan Doken Contracting Limited, a general contracting company. Our attention to detail gives the customer what they ask for. Call Dylan Doken Contracting Limited for your general contracting needs. The Warriors come back into the offensive zone. Floater soaked easily by the Crude defense. Basinger will hand it off to Twells. Twells up high with it on the right side. Twells to Basinger inside. And that is a goal by the Warriors as that was fed to the cutter. Left wide open. And he's not on our sheet here. I can't tell you who that was, but it's an affiliate of some kind. You can tell by the black helmet. Maybe McCormick. Just off the top of my head. But it is the Warriors taking a 2-1 lead. As the ball goes loose, and Wells is going to pick it up. Halfway mark, first period. The Warriors up 2-1. Elliott to Wells. Wells swings it into the stick of Stenson. He gets it quickly down low to Fodchuk, and then Wells took a shot. That got soaked. And now a long outside shot. One Bialik's going to want to have back. It's 2-2. So the Crude tied up 2-2 here early on as these teams go back and forth, and now off the draw they're going to award possession to the Crude. And it'll be your first media timeout as we're halfway through the opening frame. Want to take this time to thank the Crude Tier 1 Lacrosse Club's 2025 sponsors: Dylan Doken Contracting Limited, Central Social Hall, Wedman Land and Cattle Co., Zender Ford, Impact Homes, Alberta Sportswear, Frank Sandblasting and Painting, United Sport and Cycle, Iron Worker Local, and Key to Safety. So the Warriors with a little bit more fight in their game early on than as opposed to what we saw on the weekend, a pair of home losses. Got down big early in their opener to the Rebels, and then got a better start on Saturday afternoon, but fell short to the Outlaws, and they're right in this game to this point. And if it wasn't for a bit of a weak goal, this game could be 2-1 Warriors, but we sit 2-2, and we'll see if the Crude can start to roll here. So out of the timeout, Wells will control traffic up high. The ball's floated into the stick of Fawchuk. Fawchuk works his way around a man and swings it down at the feet of Elliott. Elliott up high. That shot comes in. And then a rebound opportunity from Stenson, and it's just kept out by Bialik. As the Warriors try to break out here. Crude look like they're going to try and press. Fair. In transition. Now a 3-on-2 here. The Warriors going to get a look here, and that shot sent in and shut off by Horbay. That looked like Lafleur in transition in what I believe is his first game of the season for the Warriors. Now in transition, back the other way, and the Crude make the Warriors pay as they fell asleep. Fawchuk left all alone, it's 3-2. So the Warriors are going to come back, needing some reinforcements with only 2 guys on the floor at the moment. Now the rest of the offense joins the fray as that ball gets just wildly flipped into the middle of the floor, right into the stick of goaltender Horbay. Now back, the ball is stripped momentarily away, and now the Crude have a 2-on-1. Elliott tried to feed that to Nestor. That pass came in too hot. And then the Warriors are going to race back out. Here's Redlick. Redlick goes over to Bilodeau. Basinger, Basinger. Gets met by a couple of Crude defenders. Had to move that and lost it. Now a Crude player lies on the floor. Somebody on their bench isn't too happy. Didn't see what happened. They blow it dead and allow for the trainer to make his way out onto the floor to attend to, looks like maybe Nestor. And I don't know if he rolled his ankle, but he's a little bit off balance. And he'll be taken to the room. So with the ball loose, we'll go to a draw. They say the Crude went early on the draw, and it'll be white ball. (3-2). Crude with their first lead of the game. Lentz defers to Evelyn. Evelyn on the left side with Andrusiak. The Warriors a real late change here. Now wide open in the middle of the floor was Royer, and his shot gets sent into the corner. It just sort of fell out of his stick. Royer. Seal set there. Now Andrusiak's going to pick up the loose ball. Andrusiak off the pick. Andrusiak, the low shot. That goes wide, and delayed call coming up here. Looks like 12s will go to the box. And as a coaching staff, you never like to see that. Guy taking a penalty in the offensive zone. Crude will go to the power play. So, up top will be Elliott, on the shooters, Fawchuk and Wells, and then down low Stenson and Bowie. Elliott to Fawchuk. Stenson drifts in behind the net. Wells up top to Fawchuk. Nice look, back door to Elliott, and it's 4-2. So the Crude make quick work of that power play and double their lead with 7:36 to go in the first period. Yama off the draw. Tried to get that to Redlick. Redlick will collect the loose ball off of the near boards. Redlick is going to try to go to the net through a couple of defenders. Clear free hand, not called. Again, he pushes off. He's going to lose the ball. As the Crude come back the other way, Drader loses it. Probably ran into traffic needlessly there, and the Warriors come back north. Here's Bilodeau. Bilodeau gets it into the stick of a righty. Looks like Muir. Muir shoots and scores. As we went 5-hole, that's a couple 5-hole on Horbay. It's 4-3. Seen a couple ones that each goaltender would want to have back. That was one of them. And we've got ourselves a pretty high-scoring opening frame still with 6.5 to go. Update, out-of-town scoreboard in Beaumont. The Rebels up early pretty convincingly on the Outlaws, 5-0. And I'll get you the Shamrock Marauder game going on down south, that update. I'll try to get that to you in a few minutes here as the Warriors come back in transition. The ball's not caught. And here come the Crude. Wide open, in front, Elliott, and big save by Bialik, who shut off the far side. Now Schultz, the Grand Prairie product, gets it down to Elliott, already with a couple in this game. And now Wells. Wells rolls it over to Fodchuk. Fodchuk, fresh out of the gate, Fodchuk whips one in on Bialik, easy save for him. The ball comes back up floor. Here's Royer, one-on-one with Wells. Royer, swim move, Royer, and he gets stopped by Horbay. Ball was kind of muffed by Runco. Had some time to pick it up, but it's going to be back over. I guess no call, no back over. They say it was touched by the Crude. So Runco will move his way down the near boards. Runco swings it into the stick of Basinger. Basinger just rolls that on net with the refs counting down the shot clock, but that's thrown away, and it's something again that I've seen a lot of that. You're gonna have to clean it up, especially if you're the Crude and you're looking for bigger and better things. Here up top is Runco. That ball is now on the stick of Royer to Runco. Runco gets a pick there, and it's turned over. And on the 32nd shot clock violation, the Crude will possess. 4.5 to go. First period, Crude 4, Warriors 3. Thanks so much for joining us here on the channel, CROW LAX TV. All you got to do is hit subscribe. You'll be notified every time a game goes live. I apologize. Cannot talk tonight. As Redlick comes back up floor. And if the Warriors are going to get anything done in transition, it's going to be the big man out of St. Albert, Redlick, getting it done, you have to think. And Muir, who already has one. Ball up high. Muir playing a lot of offense here tonight, as I thought he should. And Druziak out of the corner, and that was a little dangerous. Almost rolled through the legs of Horbay again. Now the ball gets sent near the Crude bench. They closed the gate just in time, so it didn't roll out. And now a potential double opportunity here for the Warriors as the ball gets flipped into the stick of the lefties. Now wide open, Elliott cutting, and he scores. Nice off-ball cut by Elliott. He gets his third of the night. It's 5-3. So Elliott with his third of the night. A nice move to the net as he cut off the defender's blind side and caught the ball on the run and made no mistake. Up high on Bialik. Here's Elliott. Swings it. Fodchuk ripped up high, stopped by Bialik. Ball goes into the corner, and it's going to be picked up by Jama for the Warriors. Jama in behind the net. Throws it to Redlick, who's going to get run up on and stripped yard sale, and Elliott's going to go in. Elliott, he scores! His fourth of the night. Off the strip, it's 6-3, and Elliott, playing his former team, looks pretty jacked up. So number 20 is for the Warriors is Cade McCormick, as I surmised earlier. Has one already in this game. And another update for you, the Shamrocks on the out of town scoreboard leading the Okotoks Marauders by a score of 8-4 in Okotoks. They should be, I don't know, around the 2 or 3 minute mark, 2 or 3 minutes into the first period or third period. So we'll see if the Shamrocks can hold on there. Here it's 6-3 Crude. Ball up high with Wells. Wells shoots it. That goes out. They say it did not touch a Warrior, and it'll be Warrior ball. Here's Pennock. Pennock spins off and gets it to Andrusiak. Andrusiak has Runco up high. The Warriors come back the other way. Royer, swim move, Royer to the net, he scores. And now we have a, I don't know if they're calling something here or there was a late whistle. I thought maybe they were calling a penalty. Yeah, it looks like they're sending 12s to the box for unsportsmanlike. Just undisciplined penalties here. Now they're taking the Crude as well, actually. So Ferretti will go to the box and 12s will go to the box and they'll play 4-on-4. And both of these guys going at it a bit in the box. The refs having a discussion with 12s. They'll play 4-on-4. 5-on-5 apparently. Maybe they gave them each 10. They may have given them each 10. So referees discuss further here. Nothing's going up on the clock, so I'd assume they just both got 10. But we'll wait. Now off the draw, here's Fair. Fair to the net. Fair. That gets stopped. Again, high scoring opening frame here in St. Albert. The ball gets brought up by Nicapillo. Nicapillo will defer and hand it off to Bowie. Elliott. And here is Bilodeau on the breakaway. Bilodeau stopped by Horby as he got his shoulder up on the short side. Looks like they gave him each 2 minutes for roughing. So they won't come out until there's a dead ball because the teams are 5-on-5. Elliott, no look pass down to Fodchuk. Behind the back, and that's stopped by Bialik, who didn't take his eye off of Fodchuk. Good job to stay with it. Here's Jama for the Warriors. Jama hands it off to Evelyn. Evelyn, as I said, out of Ontario. I believe he played Junior C in his home province. Originally a Tier 2 transfer. He's playing up here for the Tier 1s as that shot is wildly sent in. Runko rebound, and he shoots that wide. Ball goes loose, knocked down by Andrusiak, but he misses it. Smith had it momentarily. It gets knocked away from him. I don't know if they called possession there, as Smith will pick it up. Smith is going to lose it. And here's Redlick, has one man to beat. He's got Fodchuk. Redlick to the net. Redlick sort of shoved Fodchuk out of the way. Got a shot off, and then it gets stopped. Redlick with words for somebody. It looked like Smith. And the Crude will take a timeout with 11 seconds to go. They'll run 6-on-5. Want to thank the Crude Tier 1 Lacrosse Club sponsors, Dylan Doken Contracting, Central Social Hall, Wedman Land and Cattle Co., Zender Ford, Impact Homes, Alberta Sportswear, Frank Sandblasting and Painting, United Cycle, Ironworker, Local, 720, and Key to Safety. And once again, the first period sponsor, Zender Ford. Conveniently located on Highway 16, we have great hours so we can help you with any vehicle needs you may have. United Cycle, United Sports Cycle, a specialty sports store located in the heart of Edmonton. We see sports as a way to bring people together, and our driving force has always been to help athletes of all levels reach their full potential. So with the net empty, the Crude will go 6-on-5 here, and Elliott will hold the ball until about 8 seconds, and then they'll go. Drifting in behind the net, ball's moved to Wells. Couple of seals down low, shot in. Fodchuk stopped by Bialik, and the clock will expire. That'll do it for the first period of play. With the score, the St. Albert Crude 6, the Edmonton Warriors 4. And just as we are getting ready to send you off here, it looks like they're going to put a fractions of seconds back on the clock. 2 seconds, so enough time to make a pass and take a shot here, with the ball already in the zone. I didn't think there was that much time left. I thought maybe a second, 0.8, but they'll put 2 seconds back up. And the Crude, and shoot from the corner. I feel like they could have got a better look than that, but after the first period of play, the score will be the St. Albert Crude 6 and the Edmonton Warriors 4. We want to thank you for joining us here on the channel, CROW LAX TV, here with you all spring and summer long, taking you right through the Larry Bishop, held in Fort Saskatchewan this year, and leading up into the Founders, where a national champion will be crowned. After one, the Crude 6, the Warriors 4. See you back here in 10 minutes. Welcome back into Jerome McGinley Arena, where it is the Crude leading the Warriors by a score of 6-4 here early in the second period. As we get back underway, Fodchuk over to the far wall. Elliott swings it into the stick of Fodchuk. That shot goes wide and it's picked up by Redlick. As the ball comes back down the other way, and Redlick spins off of a check. Redlick dishes it, and that's a goal. Andrusiak goes far side. It's 6-5. Now off of the far half wall, Elliott tried to behind the back pass to Wells. He goes and picks it up. Wells swings it. That shot from Stenson goes wide. Stopped by Bialik. Rebound, Elliott. They don't get the reset though, and after Elliott threw that behind the back cross crease, it ended up in the net, but it was a 30-second shot clock violation. What did you do there? Here's Twelves. Tries to swing it over to Runko. Ball goes wide of him. And now here is Dzwanka having trouble with it. And that's going to be picked back up by Evelyn and the Warriors. Head coach Vey imploring his guys to get back out of the back gate as the ball turns back over. And it's into the stick of Nicopillo, wearing an A for the Crude. Gets it to Fodchuk. Fodchuk is going to bounce around, wait for the pick. Set there by Stenson. Fodchuk feeds it. Fry with the shot there. And Twelves with the rebound and the loose ball. Now numbers again, wide open. Royer down low, and Druziak gets stopped. Seen a lot of easy transition looks for both teams in this game. And certainly something that both teams can clean up, as racing away with it are the Crude. They're going to call 8 seconds as Huckabee couldn't get past the timeline. Redlick picks it up. Mishandled there by Basinger, but it goes right to Royer. Royer, two-man game with Basinger. Royer steps in, shoots. Stopped by Horbay. And now it's thrown away by the Crude. Ball back the other way with Redlick. Redlick to Evelyn to Royer. Johnny Royer, rookie out of Sherwood Park, has one in the game. I believe that was his second of the year. And Andrusiak gets the loose ball off of the bad pass. Royer to the net. Royer! And just bounced that wide on a little bit of a twister release. That goes up off the floor and into the ceiling. Ball's handed off to Fodchuk. Fodchuk skips in. Fodchuk! Stopped by Bialik. Nice move there by Fodchuk. Had his defender on his heels there. Backed him right in. Now Fodchuk got the dish. They're going to call... I didn't really catch what they called there. He looked like he motioned for going through the crease to pick up the loose ball, but don't know as Muir comes back into the offensive zone.
3 feet away from the crease.
Yeah, so PA guy commenting on it as well. We don't know what happened there. As a shot goes in, and it's picked up, and the Warriors gain a fresh 30. Andrusiak up high. Andrusiak flips it back to Runko. Runko calling for a pick. Runko
Wild outside shot into the feet of Horbay, and it's picked back up by the Crude. Nicopillo transitions. It's over the head of Drader, and now Elliott's going to have to battle for it. Fair picks it up. Warriors right in this one. 15:35 to go, second period. 6-5 and a high-scoring affair so far here out of Jerome McGinley and St. Albert. Royer had that pass go off the top of his stick. He goes and grabs the loose ball. Royer looks, dishes, nice pass to 12s, but he was met by a couple of Crude defenders waiting for him. Evelyn, inside, Evelyn steps back and shoots. Good stop there by Horbay, as the broken play resulted in a good chance for the Warriors. Royer with a nice loose ball. Royer dishes, McCormick, and he shoots that well wide. Ball goes up off of the mesh, and it'll be Crude ball. Schultz comes back down, and the Warriors back out the back door to get on defense. Here's Fodchuk. Fodchuk over to Bowie. Step back shot, well wide by Wells. Good loose ball there by Redlick, and here he goes. Trenton Redlick is going to take off here. Can he get to the net? Redlick engages his defender. Redlick, and behind the back, wasn't all that close to the net. Probably took his own chance away there with that attempt, as the Crude get called for interference, and it'll be Warrior ball. You're not going to get too many of those opportunities, and Redlick's a guy that can score, so would have liked to seen him just, he had the defender on his back too, just go across the net and make the goalie have to make a save there. And Druziak to Muir. Muir swings it into the stick of Basinger. Basinger, hard pick there by McCormick. It'll be moving, and it'll be Crude ball. Ball comes back up. Fodchuk shoots that low into the belly of Bialik, and now transitioning out is Bilodeau. Nice pass by Bialik. Bilodeau in, and Bilodeau winds and fires that high. Lots of opportunities here as that ball gets picked up, and they say it was out of the crease, so it'll be Crude ball. Cannot reach in and pick the ball up out of the cylinder. Crude ball. Crude 6, Warriors 5, 13:28 to go here, middle frame. Elliott on the strong side with Wells. Now the ball over, up high. Fodchuk looks back door. Good save there by Bialik on the quick stick from Elliott. Elliott looking for his 5th of the game. Has 4 of the 6 Crude goals. As here's Danny Fair. Nice pass out to the Runco, who hit Muir. Muir tried to hit Cameron coming in off the near side, and then Fair saves the over and back. Good play by him not to change. Here's Royer. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Gets it down to Muir. Muir can shoot from the outside. We'll see if he gets a look here. Muir, wild pass. No shot at catching that for Basinger. The shot clock will expire. It'll be Crude ball. I want to thank our second period sponsor here, Alberta Sportswear. Alberta Sportswear, the official supplier of Crude Lacrosse. They are a leader in quality embroidery and custom logo clothing, sublimated jerseys, and more. Everything from design production is all done in-house. Now wide open inside is Wells, and Bialik with a turn away there. Good job there by Bilodeau to box out and get the loose ball. Warriors, got to give them credit, playing better ball here than what they showed last weekend in their opening 2 games. Evelyn to the half wall. That's Andrusiak. Evelyn to the net. Evelyn tried to throw it behind the back, went off a defender, it looked like. Picked up by 12. 12 swings it. McCormick misses it. McCormick to the wall. Loose ball here. Here's Babiak. Babiak is going to have to just throw this in on Horbay, and it'll be a shot clock expiration. Crude come back into the offensive zone. Stenson up high. Stenson swings it. Elliott. Elliott comes up high with it. Now will go underneath. He's met there by Pennock. Behind the back pass, Wells. Low shot wide, and here's Jama. Jama's going to transition. He's got numbers. He's with Babiak. Babiak and Jama. Babiak And Babiak, as he went to shoot it, lost it. And the Crude will come back the other way. And now the ball's turned over again. And we got a delayed call coming up here against the Crude. Oh, maybe it's the Warriors. So it'll be a Crude power play. Babiak gets nabbed. I imagine something that happened after behind the play after he lost the ball, didn't get the shot off, and Babiak will go to the box. Ball up high, Fodchuk. As Redlick comes back up the floor, he gets stripped, and then the ball's knocked over center. Fair comes back, he takes a hack, and he possesses. Fair. Now in the corner with Andrusiak. Andrusiak rolls off a check. Dizwenka is going to knock the ball loose here, and it'll be Crude ball. 10-10 to go, middle frame. We got a pretty good one here going, at least a tight game here going as the Crude lead by 1 on the power play for about a minute. Down low, back up to the shooter, now up top, Elliott. They start motion as they cycle through off the right side. Ball comes up. A rotation up high. Fodchuk. Now they try to go backdoor. Wells cross the net. Nice little attempt there. And that is going to get transitioned out nicely by the Warriors to the net. Royer short-handed, and he just missed the far side there. Ball comes back down. Fry. 19 seconds remaining on the power play. Elliott. Ball up high. Elliott is going to direct some traffic here with 5 seconds remaining on the power. Wells. Fodchuk right into the crest of Bialik. Now loose ball. Cameron's battling. Cameron met by a check. Cameron is going to sprint out. Here's Blake Cameron. He's got a man with him as the ball just sat in the feet of Horbay, and the ball gets sent back up floor. Here's Nicapillo. Nicapillo gets it over to Fodchuk. Back to even here with 8:40 to go, middle frame. As the ball is controlled by Elliott. Fodchuk. Backdoor look to Wells. That pass was too high. And now the Warriors are going to try and keep it loose for the shot clock expiration. It's picked up, and Fodchuk has to shoot one off balance on the run. That goes high, and that'll lead us to our second period media timeout with the Crude up 6-5. I want to thank you for joining us here on the channel, CROW LAX TV. Just hit subscribe, you'll be notified every time a game goes live. Second period sponsor, Alberta Sportswear. The leader in quality embroidering, custom logos, sublimated jerseys, and more. Everything from design to production is all done in-house. The Tier 1 Crude 2025 sponsors, Dylan Doken, Contracting Limited, Central Social Hall, Wedman Land and Cattle Co., Zender Ford, Impact Homes, Alberta Sportswear, Frank Sandblasting, United Sport and Cycle, Ironworker Local 720, and Key to Safety. So we start play back up here with Evelyn throwing the ball away. It's knocked down by Andrusiak momentarily, and now the Warriors have trouble picking it back up. Now it's in the stick of Evelyn. Evelyn shoots that, and it just stayed out. As Horbe almost kicked that into his own net. And now the Crude come back in transition. McConnell gets it to Stenson. Stenson is going to stop up and wait. Stenson hands off. And then a backdoor look, and that's stopped. Well, it wasn't stopped because they don't reset the shot clock. It looked like it might have been stopped. As we look here, trying to get an update on a couple of these scores here. On the out-of-town board. Right now, a much lower scoring second period. After a blistering first on the score sheet, Royer makes his way inside. That gets stopped by Horbe. Yeah, they are asking for a reset. I was wondering what happened there. So fresh 30 for the Warriors. Inside, 12's wide open. The pass was nowhere near though. Runco throws that into the ceiling. Just a lot of that. Just the good news is if you're these teams, as well as in transition, get stopped by Bialik. Good news is for these teams is there's just so many things that are easily correctable and avoidable here. As the ball is getting thrown away a lot of unforced turnovers, and just a lot of not getting back and letting guys go on 2-on-1s and breakaways. As Bialik, got to be careful here, fights that off. Lentz comes up floor. He's going to pull out. Lentz, check there heavily. He circles back. That's Schultz on him. He hands off to Royer, and Schultz will strip him momentarily. Royer picks it back up. Royer doing a lot of swimming. Still has it. Royer to the net. Royer, and he tried to go low down by the feet of Horbe. He did not like Royer coming into his crease. And the Crude transition back out. Dzwanka to Fry. Fry waiting for some Crude teammates to get on the floor. Fodchuk underneath. Fodchuk has Stenson wide open. Stenson into the gut of Bialik, and Bialik didn't get up. And the ball gets floated into the net. I don't know what the heck what that was, but Crude will take it, 7-5. Looks like the Rebels up 8-1 with 7:30 to go in the second on the out-of-town scoreboard. And let's look up what's going on in Okotoks. Looks like the Shamrocks do what they usually do and defeat the Marauders by a score of 11-5. As Jama gets pushed into the boards, interference call will be a Warrior ball. Goal sponsor, Dylan Doken Contracting Limited. Call Dylan Doken Contracting Limited for your general contracting needs. Ball up high, gets turned over. And here go the Crude. As Nick Apillo is going to get chased here by Bilodeau. Ooh, an ugly hit there. And that'll be a call. Call did come late, but it did come. And the Warriors are about to go shorthanded. Now shot comes in high. It's picked up by Bilodeau. And we'll see if it's a 5 or if it's a... They could call it 4, check from behind. They could call it a 5-minute... Could be a boarding call. We'll see. If it's boarding, it has to be 5. So we'll see. We'll wait and see. Could be a 5-minute cross-check. Referee Ryan White will tell us. Looks like a 4-minute check from behind. So the Crude will go to the man advantage for 4 minutes. Anybody unfamiliar with how it works, you can score. If you score within the first 2 minutes, that takes it down to 2. And then if you score again, the guy comes out of the box. That's Bilodeau for the Warriors in the box. Fodchuk plays catch with Elliott. Elliott looks back door. Now inside, look, Wells right on top of the crease. Bialik stops that. Bialik to Cameron, who's going to have to run up over center and avoid the 8-second count, 10-second count because they're shorthanded. Ball up high with Muir. Here's Evelyn. Evelyn going to drive the net. It's cut off. And he'll roll it in on Horbay. Didn't look like he knew where that went, but stayed in front of him. And the Crude will come back up over center. Big time in this game. Warriors in need of a kill. Crude extend this out any further. It's going to be tough heading into the third. Elliott. Fodchuk. Ball back up with Fodchuk. Fodchuk, no-look shot right into the crest of Bialik's jersey. Bialik looking to outlet. Bialik has a man and just out of the reach of Royer. And the Warriors taking their time to get off here. They need to hurry. And they were just way too casual turning around here. It's going to set the Crude up for a look here. Still getting back, and now finally they set the box up. Fodchuk, Elliott, Wells back up to Elliott. Behind the back, Wells, low shot, low to low, stopped by Bialik. And now in transition, Bialik's going to look. And that sails over the head of Pennock. Excuse me, that's not Pennock. That's LaFleur. As the ball gets sent over across floor, down underneath the 2-minute mark of the power play. 2.5 to go, second period. Crude up 7-5. Inside, wide open once again is Elliott. Rebound, and that's a good stop there by Bialik. Pair of good saves there as he preserves this kill. Bialik lofts it to Fair. Good knockdown by Fair. He's got to get over, and he does. This is a big moment in this game. If the nice hack there by Ferretti. They do get it. Good call there. It's pretty obvious as the ball gets brought back over. Redlick up high. Redlick jump step. Redlick to the net. And he's just jamming himself up here. And now Redlick takes a swing with his stick at the head of a Crude player. And that's going to even it up here. Well, it's going to keep the Crude on the power play. Undisciplined play there. The Warriors looking like they were in good shape to maybe have a power play here after this Bilodeau penalty expired. Now they're going to stay shorthanded as Redlick goes to the box with Ferretti, who had the initial slash. So a 2-minute slash to Ferretti. And I'd imagine a 2-minute high stick to Redlick. Yeah, that's what it is. So the Crude will have a 4-on-3 now. And just makes it all that more punishing that Redlick took that penalty as Fodchuk goes and grabs the loose ball. Backdoor look, and that's missed. That ball's batted out by Jama, and it'll be Crude ball. It's a loose ball you got to have, and it ends up in their net. As the shooter to crease pass ends up in the cage, it's 8-5. And Fry off of the draw. He's going to race into the offensive zone. Fry. Hands off to Elliott. Or no, he faked it. Still has it. And now the exchange happens. Elliott is looking to shoot. Elliott now backs off. Comes across the top. Peels back, shoots. That went off a body. It goes loose. And Jama is going to pick up the loose ball. Jama takes a high hit. No call. It's pretty rudimentary high stick. It goes uncalled. Now another tie up, and we got, I can't tell who that Crude player is. We'll wait for him to turn around. It looks like Menon for the Crude. Menon and Jama go at it a bit. And it looks like we're gonna be 3-on-3? No, it should be 4-on-3. No, it'll be 3-on-3, so because that original penalty is out to Bilodeau, so it'll be 3-on-3. Wells. Pick set there by Elliott. Wells waits for it. Now Elliott was wide open, but the pass was in behind him. And Babiak will get the loose ball. Looks like the Warriors call a timeout. And they'll look to set something up here with 21 seconds to go in the second period. I want to thank you for joining us here on the channel, CROW LAX TV. Hit subscribe, you'll be notified every time a game goes live. We've got games all the way through the summer, leading into the Larry Bishop. We'll have full coverage of that, the provincial tournament that crowns a Alberta champion and a team to be sent out this year to Calgary for the Nationals, the Founders Cup, being held and hosted by the Shamrocks. So it'll be Warrior ball as they pull the goalie and go 4-on-3. So they'll hold it here a little bit and make sure the Crude don't have an empty net attempt, obviously. And that was dangerous as it almost got picked off. Now in front, wide open. That gets stopped. 3 seconds. And a long outside take. 12's rebound, and that's stopped by Horbay. So after 2 and a barrage to the box, it'll be the St. Albert Crude 8 and the Edmonton Warriors 5. I want to thank you for joining us here on the channel, CROW LAX TV. All you got to do is hit subscribe, and you'll be notified every time a game goes live. After 2, it's the St. Albert Crude 8, the Edmonton Warriors 5. We'll be right back here from Jerome McGinley in just under 10 minutes' time. See you then. Welcome back in to Jerome McGinley Arena. It's the third period of action where the Crude lead the Warriors by a score of 8-5. Teams will start 3-on-3 with plenty of traffic in the box. As we have a competitive third period here lined up, as they'll call face-off violation on the Warriors. It'll be Crude ball. Here's Fry. Fry comes across and just avoids the timeline. As they blow it dead. I don't know what's going on here. The refs are going to discuss something.
With numbers 0-8-3.
9-2 over in Beaumont as the Rebels continue to lead the Outlaws early in the third period. And we might be getting a penalty shot here. So because the teams are 3-on-3, and I'd imagine that there was a call on the Crude, so the Warriors will get a penalty shot and it'll be Royer taking it. Because you can't play 3-on-2, so the rule is that the penalty shot takes place. So Royer will take it, and this is one the Warriors need. Johnny Royer makes his way in. He's going to run across the net. Royer scores. Johnny Royer with a big one for the Warriors. And he cut the deficit to 2. .1949 to go, third period. And the Crude now leading 8-6.
Terry, did somebody come back for the 50-50 yet or no? What number was it? 083?
And off the draw, Nicopillo hands off to Fodchuk. Fodchuk down the wall. He's going to stop up and he's going to swing it over to Elliott. Liam Elliott with a big night so far. Got 4. Twister, shot, stop by Bialik. Now the loose ball goes to Elliott. Hits a man down low. It's Lemieux, and he's stopped by Bialik. Big save there from the netminder. He's making up for a little bit of a tough stretch in the second period. Made some big stops on the power play, and now is continuing his strong play here. Now he stops another one from the outside. And they're going to go back up. Here's Redlick transitioning. And you know what? To be fair, it wasn't even a stretch in the second period. It was just that one weird goal where it looked like he lost where the ball was. I think he thought it was in his equipment, and he didn't get up off the floor. And the Crude were able to throw it in the empty net. Here's Royer. Royer, swim move. He works his way down the right side, swings it into the stick of Evelyn. That's stopped by Horbe. Horbe grabs it, and he's going to outlet. The Crude break out, up floor, back into the stick of McConnell. McConnell gets stripped. That'll be back over. Bilodeau. Well, they don't call back over, but the Warriors pick up the ball. Babiak grabs it and is going to hand off here to Runco. Runco to McCormick, who misses it. McCormick is going to have that ball grabbed away by Drader. And the transition man for the Crude will hand it off to Elliott. 7:57 to go now, or 17:57 to go now, third period. Crude up by 2. Fodchuk tried to drag it, steps back. Fodchuk, and that gets trapped inside of the paraphernalia of Bialik. Here is Fair. Fair into the stick of Pennock, and now to Runco. Warriors looking like they're going to be in this till the end. Evelyn Evelyn steps off a check to Andrusiak. Andrusiak inside. Royer tied up. Royer to the net. He gets chased away. Down and funneled underneath. Runco misses the ball. And the Warriors are going to run off, and it's going to be picked up by Nicapillo. Nicapillo down the near wall. He's going to stop and wait. Elliott will possess. Third period sponsors, Central Social Hall. Central Social Hall can be a place for drinks with the girls, lunch with a client, brunch with your family, or a late night with your friends. Born and raised in Edmonton, we're committed to providing you with an outstanding restaurant and bar experience. Now in front, and turned away again was Lemieux with a couple of opportunities now. And now in transition, Muir in. Muir stopped by Horbe, and that was probably his best of the game. Stayed patient with it and stayed tight to the bar and kept his shoulder up and stopped Muir. Big save there by Horbe as he settles into this game. And now the Crude, Stenson. Stenson goes underneath. He's pushed into the corner. Stenson, no look up to Elliott. Elliott right into the crest of Bialik. Bialik, long lead pass. 12s is not going to grab it. And it's going to be picked up by Huckabee. Huckabee runs it out. Liam Huckabee with 16 minutes to go now, third period. Elliott has had the ball a lot here tonight. Elliott looks and dishes. Over to Fodchuk. Fodchuk back to Elliott. Pick set. Elliott gets tied up as he's turned away there by Babiak. And the shot clock's going to expire. And it's Crude ball, or it's Warrior ball. Take this time to thank Crude Tier 1 sponsors for the 2025 season: Dylan Doken Contracting Limited, Central Social Hall, Wedman Land and Cattle Co., Zender Ford, Impact Homes, Alberta Sportswear, Frank Sandblasting and Painting, United Sports Cycle, Ironworker Local 720, and Key to Safety. Now, that looked like Fodchuk wide open. The ball is sailed over his head, and Cameron comes back the other way. Cameron takes a whack, and he'll get the ball up to Redlick. Next goal in this one, paramount, as Crude continue to lead by 2. And Druziak for the Warriors swings it into the stick of Basinger. Basinger back to Andrusiak. Andrusiak steps back, and that shot made its way in and turned away by Horbe at the last second. I don't know if he picked that up. Shot through a screen, and Runco mishandles the ball again. And now the Crude come back up with it. McConnell loses it. Gonna have to grab it again. Still trying to grab it. Now he holds on to it, and he's chased around the net. Here's Jama chasing McConnell back up, and the ball's moved into the stick of Elliott. They'll call interference, and it'll be Warrior ball. Here's Bilodeau. Bilodeau is going to try to go to the net. Now he pulls out, and he'll control. Royer into the middle, and he loses it. McCormick's going to try and run this down. McCormick pushed off the ball, and it'll be Warrior ball. 14 minutes to go. Score remains 8-6. Again, everyone at home, next goal is paramount in this game. Runco up high with it. Runco, low shot, stopped. Loose ball's not grabbed by the Warriors, and Horbe will collect. Horbe outlets up to Schultz. Schultz, dangerous pass there, is now going to create a loose ball battle. And it's picked up by the Warriors. Good job there by Lentz. Now Redlick stumbles. He picks his feet back up and gets up off the floor. Redlick to the net. Redlick dishes it. 12 scores. In transition, Redlick drew the defender, invited the contact, and then stepped back and hit 12s off the bench. It's 8-7. Out-of-town scoreboard, Rebels leading the Outlaws by a score of 10-2. 14-15 to go in that one here. It's 8-7, Crude hanging on. And now back the other way. Go the Crude. And off the bench, Stenson. Good stop there by Bialik, as Stenson got a lot on that one. He was on the run, but he was able to get his back foot and plant it into the ground and whip it down low on Bialik, and Bialik, another good save. Redlick, careful to avoid the stepping back over the line, gets it into the stick of Runco. Evelyn off the bench. Evelyn over to Basinger. Basinger up to Royer. Royer swings it into the stick. Andrusiak. Andrusiak almost got around his man but lost the ball. Now the ball goes loose, and Royer is going to fight with it with McConnell. Fight for it with McConnell. McConnell keeps bobbling it, and now he brings it in. But he's going to be surrounded by Warriors coming out the back gate. All alone. Slow change here by the Crude. Left McConnell by his lonesome, but was able to go around the net and buy enough time. 12 minutes to go in a very tight contest here. Not too many people would have had the Warriors this tight in the game, but Fodchuk goes underneath his man and buries it far side on Bialik to make it 9-7. That goal presented by Dylan Doken Contracting Limited, DDC, a general contracting company. Our attention to detail and giving the customer what they ask for is our company's main objective. Call Dylan Doken Contracting Limited for your general contracting needs. Impact Homes. Impact Homes is a Coventry Group company and is a flexible home building serving Edmonton and surrounding areas. Impact Homes is a leading Alberta builder. Frank Sandblasting and Painting, our Alberta-based company, is family-owned and operated, providing our customers with the benefit of personalized service. Every detail that goes into a customer's order reflects our strong commitment to providing them with the same service and quality. 11:40 to go, Crude up 9-7 off the goal by Fodchuk. Fodchuk now with it again. He turns back into the corner, hits a cutter, that's Wells, he loses it, and now Redlick is going to come away with it. Now the ball's going to be knocked over the boards. They say the Crude touched it. It'll be Warrior ball. Ball's picked up and transitioned out. And Elliott will jog back over the timeline. 11 minutes to go now. 9-7 Crude lead. Elliott. A little bit of a stutter step, gets chased back out towards the boards. Elliott is checked there by Muir. Muir takes him into the boards. Bowie, and tried to go 5-hole, stopped there by Bialik. Here's Muir. He's going to run it out. Now he heads right into the stick of Runco. He missed it. But now Babiak is going to pick it up. Once again, the Warriors needing this next one. Runco. Now Andrusiak winds and fires. That hits something on its way to the net. And it's going to be picked up by Schultz. Schultz is going to race away. He's chased by 12s. Schultz to the dotted line, and now 12s will knock him out to distance, and Nicopillo will hand off to Fry. Fry holds up. End of the stick of Stenson. Here's Lemieux, younger brother of longtime junior A minor Alex Lemieux. Into the stick of Fry. He bounces it wide, and the shot clock will expire to be Warrior ball. Actually just talked to Alex in the intermission. He's headed out to Langley, BC to play some senior A ball with a few of the other junior A minors from a season ago, all graduating and about to foray out into the WLA. Good luck to them as we hit our media timeout. I want to take this time to thank our third period sponsor, Central Social Hall. Central Social Hall can be a place for drinks with the girls, lunch with a client, brunch with your family, or a late night with your friends. Born and raised in Edmonton, we're committed to providing you with an outstanding restaurant and bar experience. Ironworkers Local 720. Ironworkers Local 720's mission is to achieve a good standard of living and quality of life for our members in all phases of their careers and their families by building a reputation for performance, excellence, and pride within the iron worker craft. 9-7, 9:53 to go here as we hit our final media timeout. Want to thank you for joining us on the channel as we got a pretty close game here for you tonight. The 0-2 Warriors looking for their first win, taking on the 2-2. Well, actually, the Warriors are technically 1-2 because they have the default win against the Rockies. Taking on the 2-2 Crude, who also have that default win in the bank against the Rockies. Both trying to chase down the Rebels, who sit up atop the North Division. That ball is sent into 12s. He loses it. And Evelyn will grab the loose ball. Evelyn drives underneath. Evelyn back up to Runco. Runco, stutter step. Runco. Weird pass there. Is knocked down by a Crude stick. Now Evelyn turns back. Evelyn tried to hit Royer inside. That gets picked up by Royer. Royer, sharp angle shot. Shot clock expires. They didn't give him the reset, and it'll be Crude ball. Back down into the offensive zone. McConnell to Elliott. Elliott had 4 goals in the first period. Had that knocked down. And now it's going to be scooped up by Jama. Jama is going to transition out. Jama is going to pull out as the Crude got a guy out the back gate. Jama's going to hold it. He's got to move it here. And he does into the stick of Andrusiak. Andrusiak is going to get hit by an unsuspecting of Ferretti coming back in on him. And that's going to turn over into the Crude's possession. Elliott, half wall. Lemieux down low to Fodchuk. Fodchuk swings it into the stick of Elliott. Seal set. Elliott, good stop there by Bialik. Elliott tried to go up high to the far side. If you're the Warriors, probably can't give up another one the rest of the way with 8 minutes to go if you want to win this one. Here is Bowie into the stick of Fodchuk. Long outside shot, easily stopped by Bialik. Now the ball bounces loose. Cameron and Lentz in there for the Warriors, but it's picked up by the Crude. Lemieux tried to hit Fry in front of the net, and now a breakaway opportunity here for Redlick. A 2-on-1 develops. Redlick tried to get it to Babiak, who didn't bring the ball in, or that's Basinger. And now the Crude come back the other way. 7:30 to go, 9-7. Crude continue to lead here from Jerome McGinley Arena. Ball up high with Stenson. I was talking about it earlier. It was a really high-scoring first period. It was 6-4 after the first. Now we sit 9-7, so that means what? It's been a 3-3 game since. As dip and dunk attempt there from Elliott doesn't work. And now here in transition, here's Fair. Fair's in. Fair, and he's stopped by Horbay. Big stop there as the former Victoria Junior B Shamrock turns away Danny Fair, who really could have brought the Warriors to life there. As we dip underneath 7 minutes, now allowed to walk right to the net is Bowie, and the ball kind of got through Bialik, but it popped out the other way. And now the Warriors go back the other way. Bilodeau is going to run. He's got a man wide open, doesn't hit him though. Now he throws the ball into traffic, and it gets knocked down. Royer is going to go after Dzwanka. He's going to strip him. Ball goes loose. Going to have to try and avoid the 8-second count, and apparently just does. Schultz. Schultz gets it to Elliott, and he'll change. 6:15 to go now, third period. Elliott. Elliott to the net. And I don't know if Bialik got that or if that missed the net. They're going to say through the crease, and it'll be Warrior ball. 12s turns off of a potential check. 12s into the stick of Basinger now an outside shot by Andrusiak goes wide, and now a wide open breakaway, and here goes Drader. Drader in with a chance to seal this. Drader, and he misses the net. Well, it went off of Bialik's arm, they say. Now Drader back in front, and Drader scores. Drader gets the 10th marker of the game for the Crude, and they go up by a field goal. It's 10-7 with 5:42 to go. Ball off the draw, isn't picked up by Muir after he had a clean attempt at it. The ball goes loose near the benches. They'll give possession to the Crude. And now some pushing and shoving by the Warrior bench as Cameron and Menon go at it. Menon with words for a couple of Warriors. Ball up high with Wells. Wells to the net. Wells flips it back. Bowie was out in front. Didn't connect with him, though, and the ball goes loose and is picked up by Fodchuk. Fodchuk, backdoor look, and the ball barely came out of Wells' stick, but it popped into the net. It's 11-7. So the Crude extend their lead out to 4, and I can tell you that the Rebels look like they're about to win. In Beaumont, they lead by a score of 10-2 with about a minute to go. So they'll go to 3-0, and the Outlaws will drop to 1-2. Ball into the stick of Elliott. Elliott swung that down low into the opposite crease. Ball goes out. Having not hit anything, it'll be Warrior possession. Here's Redlick to Evelyn. Evelyn gets a pick set there by Runco. Here's Evelyn. Wild pass over the head of Basinger. He'll collect it off the glass. Basinger with, I don't know what to call that, and is picked up by Evelyn. Ball is not caught by McCormick. And Ferretti comes back out. Ferretti is going to go to the net. Ferretti stopped by Bialik. As the Warriors throw another wild pass, and it's going to be eventually picked up by the Crude. As Ferretti is going to be pinned to the wall. It's not Ferretti, sorry, it's Nicapillo, and now Bowie. Nicapillo is going to get nabbed for something from behind the play. I turned my head, didn't see what he did. Looks like a cross check. So the Warriors will go to the power play with 3:37 to go, third period. Want to thank Wedmond Land and Cattle Co. From our quality cattle and performance horses to our reliable trucking services, we're here to serve your needs across Alberta. Ball up top with 12s. Now with Andrusiak. 12s with a massive moving pick. And the Crude will go the other way. And it's picked up by Redlick. Here's Babiak. Gets it to Andrusiak. 3 minutes to go. 11-7, the Crude lead here. Trying to win their second in a row. 12s up top. 12, and it's not brought in by Andrusiak, and the ball is picked up. Here's Dizwenka. The big man's gonna rumble down the floor. Dizwenka, and that might have caught a piece of the iron because that ball bounced out pretty damn far. Ball goes back down into the Crude zone. And Ferretti will come back over the center line. 2:30 to go. Ferretti, it's checked there by Jama. Jama. As the Warriors not really going after the ball here. Now Ferretti gets the ball into the corner, and a wild shot there from a tough angle had to be stopped sharply there by Bialik. And now Cameron has numbers, 3-on-2. Cameron to a Warrior on the left side of the floor, bounces wide, and it'll be Crude ball. That was Lafleur in transition. He's had a couple of looks in this game as we go underneath 2 minutes to go. Crude up by 4. And they look like they're going to be content to drain 30s at this point. Here's Huckabee. Huckabee chased around here by Lentz. Huckabee takes a couple of checks, ball goes loose. And now Huckabee will have to send this on net. And it'll be a 30-second shot clock expiration. Warrior ball now with Babiak. Babiak hands it to Basinger, who quickly gets it over to Redlick. Ball moved over to the half wall. Spin move up top. Royer rolls that in on net wide. Good loose ball there by Nicapillo, who will turn and go. Nicapillo has numbers. Well, now a couple of Warriors step out, and they'll set up their deep. Nicapillo gets chased by Royer. As we go underneath a minute here. Ball up high with Fry. Vodchuk, jump shot, stopped by Bialik. He looked for, I believe, what would have been his hat trick. And now behind the play, Fry and Jama tangled up. Words continue, and the play goes on. And now they'll call some sort of minor interference. It'll be Crude ball here as they play out the string with 15 seconds to go. Crude are going to win this one, and they'll go to 2-2 or 3-2 because of the forfeit win. And the Warriors will drop to 1-3, also having the forfeit win. And that'll do it from St. Albert, Jerome McGinley Arena. The St. Albert Crude defeat the Edmonton Warriors by a score of 11-7. The Crude, as I said, go to 3-2 while the Warriors drop to 1-3. I want to thank you so much for being with us here tonight. I know it was a bit of a late start, but sometimes that's the way it goes. And these guys, I got to give the Warriors credit. They gave the Crude a game when some people would have thought that was not very likely. And they gave us, a good game here tonight to take in. So final score from St. Albert. The Crude 11, the Warriors 7. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll be with you here after the long weekend. Thanks so much, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.